John Osterman, before becoming Dr. Manhattan, was just an ordinary physicist. A lab accident disintegrated him completely, but he re-emerged as a blue being, transcending humanity. Now he could manipulate matter, time, and space. To him, time flowed in a non-linear way. The past, present, and future coexisted simultaneously. In his mind, the nuclear war threatening the world had already happened, as had his departure to Mars. He saw everything and nothing at once, feeling increasingly detached from humanity, which he was once a part of. His love for Lori Juspecic was a fragile link that connected him to the world, but even that was fading. Deep down, John knew that his presence was both a solution and a problem for Earth. He pondered, should he intervene or let humanity follow its own course? Sally Jupiter, the first Silk Spectre, was a glamorous star of the 1940s. She was one of the few women in the vigilante scene known as much for her beauty as for her skill. But behind the facade, Sally was complex. Her relationship with the comedian was complicated, marked by violence and passion, but she never let it define her. As the years passed, she distanced herself from the vigilante life, becoming a nostalgic figure, clinging to an idealized version of her past. Her greatest legacy was her daughter, Lori, whom she protected fiercely, even if it meant hiding the truth. For Walter Kovacs, the world was a pit of corruption, and only he had the determination to face it. As Rorschach, his mask, with black ink blots constantly shifting, was a reflection of his own morality, fluid and relentless. He saw everything in black and white. There were no shades of gray in good and evil. His sense of justice was absolute, and he did not hesitate to use violence to get results. While other vigilantes retired or gave up, Rorschach persisted, alone. The investigation into the comedian's death led him to a larger plot, a conspiracy so vast and intricate that he knew danger was everywhere. Despite this, his confidence was unshakable, and he saw himself as the last true vigilante, ready to fight against the chaos threatening the world. Lori, the daughter of Sally Jupiter, took up the mantle of vigilante more out of obligation than choice. Raised in her mother's shadow, she struggled to define her own identity. Beside Dr. Manhattan, Lori found security and purpose, but she also felt increasingly disconnected from humanity as John drifted further away. When the conspiracy began to unfold, Lori was forced to confront her own origins and her role in the world. Her relationship with Dr. Manhattan put her in a unique position. She could be the key to saving him and perhaps humanity itself. Discovering the truth about her parentage and the complexity of the events around her, Lori finally found her strength. Not as her mother's shadow, but as the true Silk Spectre. Adrian Veidt, known as Ozymandias, believed himself to be the only one capable of saving the world from imminent destruction. With an almost supernatural intelligence, he had planned every move with surgical precision. Watching Dr. Manhattan's powers and the moral collapse of the other vigilantes, Veidt knew that something more extreme was necessary. He devised a plan to unite humanity, even if it meant sacrificing millions. Unlike the others, he didn't see himself as a hero or a villain, but as a visionary. His ego didn't allow him to doubt that he was doing what was necessary, the final sacrifice for the greater good. In the end, when everything came to light, he believed he would be remembered not as the destroyer of lives, but as the savior of the human race. Edward Morgan Blake, the comedian, was always cynical. To him, the world was a cruel joke, where the strong crushed the weak and violence was the only constant. He had no illusions of heroism, and his brutality defined him. As a member of the Minutemen, he took part in the dirtiest missions, always with a sarcastic smile on his face. Over the years, his worldview only deepened. Upon discovering Ozymandias' conspiracy, Blake was shocked, not by the horror of the plan, but because someone actually believed they could save the world. He laughed at the irony before being thrown out of a building window, his death setting off the chain of events that would expose the true face of the heroes.